me, Margaret. It's a little overdue. It's one of the reasons why I can't go back to Scotland. I can't afford it. I've written a book. It comes out in a couple of weeks called Between the Bridge and the River. Get it on Amazon. But I've written a book, and it'll be in libraries. That's weird to think about. There'll be self-helping grandpas will be... And because it's quite a dirty book, I'm going to warn you. It's dirty. So don't go buying it unless you like sexy things. No, and it's a very sexy book. There's a picture of Fabio on the cover. I couldn't afford Fabio. Got a Fabio impersonator. There's no Fabio involved. Anyway, books, libraries, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, I know what. You know where reading is very popular? Not necessarily in Los Angeles, not popular here, but in prison. People have usually, with prisoners, a lot of free time. They do a lot of reading. The little cart comes around. They have a little cart, comes around. I've never been to prison. I just know. How dare you laugh at that? I've never been to prison recently. I haven't been to prison recently. But they have the little guy that comes around with the cart full of books, apparently. And what prisoners do is that, this is horrible, but, you know, you get a book in prison. This is a tip, kids. If you ever end up in the big house, check the last few pages of the book, because guys rip the last few pages of the book out. It's horrible. So you don't know the ending of the book. The guys who do that ought to be in jail. But they rip the pages out. And then they use the missing pages as currency. See? So if you want to, you know, hey, you know, you want to give me a pack of cigarettes, I'll tell you the ending of Hop on Pop. I'll tell you. That's what they do. That's what happens. There's a spoiler. They hop on pop. They hop on pop. You might as well know. You know what the most popular book is in British prisons? All right, I'll tell you. It's Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. That's true. That's the most... I know, who would have thought? These brainy guys are in jail. Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. The second most popular book, I think, is Tunneling for Dummies. But the first... But... No, in Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky, the lead character is called Raskolnikov, and he's an anti-hero, and that's the way a lot of how the prisoners perceive themselves. They're anti-heroes. They also perceive themselves to be not guilty. How they perceive themselves. But they kind of identify with Raskolnikov. I know what you're thinking. It's another late-night talk show host talking about Raskolnikov and the impact of incarceration. When will this crap end? Can we have more jokes about airline peanuts? Yes, you can. Just not here. You know what a book that's really popular in jail is the Bible. Because, you know, people obviously like to read it, and the very thin pages are great for rolling joints. I'm just reporting that's what they do. They find God by smoking the good book. They do. The very, very thin pages. It doesn't work unless you're in prison. Don't do it to the family Bible, but the very thin pages, you roll them up and... dude, Deuteronomy, dude. You can listen to Genesis while smoking Genesis. That's what they do. That's what happens. I'm not talking about jail. I'm talking about libraries. Libraries is what I'm talking about. It always goes to jail with me, and it's all stories of the big house. I'm like Martha Stewart. I'm just an grizzled ex-con trying to make my way. All right, in libraries, the steel magnate Andrew Carnegie, he gave a lot of money to fund the libraries in America. A lot of the American libraries were given, you know, their start or funded by Andrew Carnegie, who was originally from Dunfermline in Scotland. And Andrew Carnegie also gave the money for the Carnegie Hall in New York, of course. And I've never played Carnegie Hall in New York, but I have played Carnegie Hall in Dunfermline in Scotland. Different size, but I did stand up there once, and the audience was very drunk and belligerent. To be fair, so was I. I was very drunk. I got into a lot of trouble that night. I think I upset them with the opening line of, "Hello, sheepshaggers." I said that to them. I said it, well, it's an East Coast, West Coast thing. I'm from Glasgow, Dunfermline's in the East Coast, you know, we say that about them, you know, just not usually while they're in the room. I know you think the East Coast, West thing was all Tupac and Biggie, but it goes back to the old country, this stuff. Dunfermline's only 45 miles from Glasgow, but it's a different, you know, it's a whole different thing. Anyway, the audience beat me up and stole my guitar. It's true. I got into a cab. I ran out outside the Carnegie Hall. I get into a cab. The cab driver says, "What's going on?" I said, "Just drive, drive!" And just as I'm getting out of Carnegie Hall, I'm getting away from Dunfermline, this guy throws a giant boulder at the car. It could have killed me. Anyway, I got away. But if there's anyone from Dunfermline watching tonight, you know, we're okay? Everything's cool. But I would like my guitar back, a sheep-shagging bastard, all right?
Worldwide Pants.